Chris Alexander joins us. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, Moon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing superb. All right, I've been keeping up just vaguely. I know people have been following what's going on with library books somewhere down in, I want to say Denham Springs. So update us on what's going on, and it look like a court case is getting ready to come up. And what's the truth? What's going on?
Well, here's what's going on, Moon. There was a member of the Livingston Parish Library Board who caught wind of the fact that there was some essentially pornographic literature in the kids section of a Livingston public school library.
Okay.
I've seen the material. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. So she put it on the library agenda board. And they went in there and they had a discussion about it because they were going to order them to remove that and put it in another section of the library. Well, some radical LGBTQ groups show up and raise a bunch of hell about it. And one courageous father was there with his 9-year-old son who demanded that it be removed and said that this is horrible for our kids. And Amanda Jones, who's head of the Louisiana Library Association and a radical leftist, said, we're not moving anything. We're not going to move anything. We're going to leave it right where it is. The fact of the matter is, Moon, it's intended for kids, which is sick. But the bottom line is she wouldn't do it. So he went public and said, Miss Jones, you are sexually grooming these young kids. That's what you're trying to do, or else you would have no problem moving these books out of the kids section of a library. You know what she did, Moon? She sued him and Michael Lunsford's group, who also was protesting this, sued them for defamation. There's a lawsuit that she filed, a baseless lawsuit, for defaming her for expressing their concern about this basically pornography in the kids section of a public school library. And they're trying to bury Mr. Ryan Thames, who's the father of the 9-year-old, in litigation right now with radical leftist groups contributing to this lawsuit. She's raised a whole bunch of money on her GoFundMe page. This is a test case, Moon. These people are trying to indoctrinate our children by introducing these concepts into public libraries across the state and country. That's why.
Well, let me ask you a question. One of the things I read was this thing was put actually in a kids section. Is that the big deal? Where this thing is put at? Where it was put out for?
Not only was it in a kids section, Moon, it was intended for kids. Mm-hmm. Wow. It's bad. And all he did was say, move it out of this section. This is not appropriate for children. Moon, if you were to see these pictures and this language that's in these books, you would say, I cannot believe any reasonable adult would object to moving this out of the kids section of a library. But you know, that's what the left does, Moon. The left wants to do this to our children. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're trying to teach them that you're not a boy, you're not a girl till you determine you are off the right. Look, I get it, and I see why somebody was upset. But why? This is my big question for you. Why is the person suing? Because what I read was there was something put on Facebook. They didn't like what was put on Facebook. What are they going to get out of the suit? That they can leave the books there? Are they trying to get money? What are they trying to get out of the suit?
Moon, it's called a slap suit. It's a strategic lawsuit against public participation, and they're usually filed against conservatives by leftist organizations who are well-funded in order to basically intimidate the conservative group into just throwing in the towel and quitting. And that's what this is all about. She has a GoFundMe page, and the plaintiff, Amanda Jones, has raised almost $100,000 to go try to bury Mr. Ryan Thames and his son and Michael Lunsford. It is absolutely outrageous. But that's what they want to get out of it. They want them to quit, and ultimately they want the books to be able to stay in the kids section of the library, and they want to also intimidate the people on the library board. That's what it's all about. So, you know, it's one of those, because there is no defamation here. He didn't do or say anything that's not politically protected speech under the First Amendment, but they don't care about the Constitution anyway. They simply are trying to intimidate and bully these people into silence. And Moon, I can tell you, if you saw this, I can't even describe to you on the radio.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
Wow.
And these are 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. Livingston Parish Library. And you know, Moon, last thing I'll tell you on this, I've been waiting for Representative Buddy Mincy. It's right there in his district. I've been waiting for him to say something publicly about this. Representative Valerie Hodges has spoken out against it. Where is Representative Mincy on this? Well, conservative, it goes back.
Crybaby Muncie is not going to do nothing. You can book it, big crybaby, and he goes anything educational. He don't care how bad it is. He ain't going to say anything. He's a Republican because he can't win as a Democrat, and that's just who he is.
Well, I mean, he's going to go tell the Republican groups in Livingston and all the parents of these young kids that he's a good conservative, but he won't stand up for the parents so these kids don't have to look at pornography in a public school library. So I'm going to continue to challenge Representative Mincy to come out, the good conservative Republican, and say something about this. Because he needs to.
Yeah, it's wow. So what are they hoping to? What are they hoping for the court to rule? If you had to say, what do you think? What are the big hope that the courts are going to do? What?
They're hoping that the case, that the defendants will throw in the towel before it ever gets to a court hearing, when they see all the money they have, and just run away and be intimidated into silence. If that doesn't happen, then they're probably wanting the court to rule that these people actually defamed them. They have no chance. It's an absolutely baseless suit, but they're going to go in there and make that argument. But it's a frivolous lawsuit, and even if they lose, it still raises the stature and creates a higher profile for Miss Amanda Jones to continue to raise money from these leftist groups. That's what it's all about. But she's claiming censorship and defamation. Censorship. She's saying that it's censorship to remove these items from the kids section of a library into an adult section. That's censorship, even though our U.S. Supreme Court has said that society has an interest in shielding our children from certain images. And it's very clear. They don't have any case here, Moon, but it's designed to intimidate and to bully. And that's what the left is good at.
Yeah, so let me ask the question, when are they going to hear this case?
Well, there was going to be a hearing yesterday on it because Mr. Long, Joe Long, who's a very fine lawyer who's representing Mr. Thames, but it was continued. They were going to have a hearing because I believe he filed some exceptions on it. But so it's continued, and I don't know what the new date is. But he is a great lawyer. And if he has the money to do what needs to be done, he's going to go in and bust them. So if I have time, I want to give your listeners the GoFundMe site for Mr. Ryan Thames. Moon. His first name is Ryan. Last name is Thames. T-H-A-M as in Mark, E-S. Ryan Thames, T-H-A-M-E-S. GoFundMe site. This is a big deal because it's a test case on a slap lawsuit. All your listeners should go. $10, $15, $20, $30, $50, whatever they can do. Go donate to the Ryan Thames GoFundMe website and let Joe Long go in there and tell these people, you're not doing this in Louisiana. You're not doing it in Livingston Parish. Let him slap them on the mouth because that's what needs to happen here.
It's very sad that we've gotten to this in our country, but man, the people that want to hurt young kids with all this sexual stuff. And like I said, if it's so bad, you can't even describe it on the radio. It's got to be pretty bad. But, we got to wait. So my question on the court thing, we had heard, and Brandon, you can back me up on this without having to back me up, that Mr. Lunsford, Michael Lunsford, I know Michael, he hadn't been given anything to go to court, has anything been filed against him for him to go to court? Because am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. So basically what happened was yesterday we reached out to Michael Lunsford and asked if he had been served yet, and he said he had not been served the papers yet. Okay,
well, that's good, and because the newspaper said he had been, I know he's a target of it, he and his group.
That's what surprised me because everything I read was Lunsford in the conservative group. And then I found out from Brandon before we went on the air, before you came on, he said, well, Moon, we talked to him. He said he hadn't been served one piece of paper. That was yesterday, Brandon, or today?
Yesterday. That was when we reached out.
As of yesterday, he hadn't been served at all to have to go to court.
Well, he'll probably end up getting named and served. I know he was mentioned in the media about it. But either way, if the court is Judge Sledge out there, Judge Sledge should throw this out and should throw it out summarily. And hopefully that will occur Joe Long will file, if he hasn't already filed, an exception, what's called an exception and no cause of action, or other similar early motions to try to let the court know, look, Judge, we don't need to waste time on this. We don't need to waste judicial resources and a bunch of money. They've got no claim, and here's why. And hopefully the court will see that and throw it out. There is no censorship, and there's absolutely no defamation here. But that's what she's claiming, this Amanda Jones, who's tied in with all these radical leftist groups, president of I think the U.S. Library Association, and it is just a bad bird and a bad deal all the way around. But it's important that we assert ourselves and win this decisively for our children.
All right, I appreciate it, Chris. Good. Thanks for the update.
God bless you, Moon. I'm going back into this meeting. Have a great day. The Louisiana Legend back on track.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. All right, I don't know about no legend.